Brilliant, guys. It's Luke here for SimBoxx. Delighted this evening to be joined by William Crolla. Will, first and foremost, how we doing, man?
How you doing, mate? I'm good. You okay?
Yeah, all good. So I appreciate this is last minute in terms of fight week. You got the fight coming up on the show in Bowlers, Manchester, Friday night. This is Wednesday,
Yes.
so yeah, deep into preparations for Friday night. How's camp been? How's training going?
It's been great, mate. It's just been a fast turnover, since I only boxed 4 weeks ago, and just straight back in the gym, straight back in the gym, and straight back to work. It's the best I've ever felt, I think, and it's no shock to see it's because of the fast turnaround. The sharpest I've ever felt. Sparring the best I've sparred, and yeah, it's not by chance. It's because I've stayed in the gym.
Absolutely. So, of course, at this stage of your career, activity is going to be key, but at the same time, and I'm sure Ant's going to want to keep the reins on a little bit. You know what? I'm going to overdo it. So, is that a bit of a battle between you and Ant Croller, of course, big brother, but also trainer, that trying to balance it, and not being too active and getting the right breaks in, but then also gaining that valuable experience.
Yeah, of course, but I think we want to be active. We want 5 fights next year. I wanted him this year, but like I said, he had a rest after my debut for just had to rest a bit of wear and tear on my hand. But like you say, like this is how active we want to be. 4 weeks ago, we're back in there again now because everything's fine. And then so tonight been my last one a year, and then I'll be looking. I'll be get back out in Feb in Manchester, down in Manchester. So hopefully that'll be a start of a busy year next year.
Absolutely. You mentioned there that this might be the last one of the year. No chance of William Croller making an appearance in Saudi Arabia, gate crashing the Day of Reckoning card.
Nah, there's no chance of me being over there. I wish, but no, be the last one of the year. Friday. I'll have a few weeks off over Christmas, and then straight back to it for a big show back in Manchester in February.
Absolutely. So you mentioned there that these touched on it briefly, but how would you rate your first year as a pro? It seemed to be a long time coming. For a little while, it felt like maybe that bus had passed you by, that the opportunity had gone. But three fights after Friday, hopefully three wins as well. You got a stoppage in there, which is always is good to see at this stage of a career because the guys that you're fighting are tough operators and know how to negate the round. So how would you surmise 2023, the first pro year for William Crolla?
Uh, and 3-0, hopefully 3-0, 2 KOs. But it's really 6 months. Well, 6, 7 months, 8. After December, I've got 4 months in the calendar year for a year
Yeah.
as a pro, so I
Yeah.
count it as that. So I'm hoping maybe get the fourth and fifth fight in that. I did hope it'd be by Christmas, but like you say, with other stuff, it's not happened. But nah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the improvement since my first to my second fight, and then the ones who were there Friday, I'll see a bigger improvement again. If I keep seeing improvements every fight, I'll be happy. And nah, I'm happy. I'm happy where it's going.
So far into your career as a burdening pro, Will, like what would you say is the biggest things you found out maybe about the sport of boxing, or maybe as yourself as a person? Has there been any eye openers this far? And it's like you say, it's only been 6, 7 months as a pro, but has there been anything where you're like, oh, that surprised me, or I've learnt this, or things that you've took up along the way that stand out maybe?
Um, Not such a thing. 'Cause I've been around boxing all my life. Obviously, I was around
Of
Anthony while
course.
he was doing it. Nothing, just a major or just a massive thing of just living the life, living the right life outside of boxing, and just always staying fit and keeping my weight right. My weight's never bad. That's just the two things I've learned, and I continue to learn. I learned it off Anthony, all the pros I was around then. Weight's a massive thing. You don't want to blow up in between fights because, like I say, if I blew up after my last fight, I'd have had to cut a load of weight for this. I'm not. I've weighed the same weight. I've weighed the same weight all the way through, and I feel good.
Of course, so you've been floating around that super welterweight kind of weight limit. In terms of like looking a bit further into the future, maybe getting into title fights and that kind of thing, is there an ideal weight you think you might get down to?
I've been at so that last was on the super welter limit. Ideally for this next one, I would have gone to 10-10 to test the waters there, but I don't think we're going to be able to. So Feb, I'll be going to 10-10, and then I'll be testing the waters down at welterweight after that. While I can in these 4 round fights, 6 rounds, hopefully in Feb, but um, that's what I'll be doing then. I'll be testing it now while I can, but there's intentions to drop to welter, but if not, I'll happily. I'm decent enough at well. I'm a big enough super welterweight, strong enough, so I'll just build into that.
Interesting. So, of course, on Friday night there'll be your gym mates, Bobby Faulkner, Zahir Iqbal as well on the card. All part of a thriving gym up there with Ant and, of course, Rhiannon Dixon, European champion, James
Yeah.
Moorcroft in a big fight coming up as well. It's a great little setup that you've got going on there, isn't it? And you know, as much as you're a young pro, Ant in his own right is a young trainer, but it's a great little setup.
Yeah, the gym's going well, man. I think you'll see three good performances Friday night from the boys, and then you say James is out next week. I think you'll see a good performance from James, and I think, like you say, the gym is flying at the minute. You've seen two career best performances last time, one off me, one off Rhiannon, and I think you'll continue to see it, and I think the stable will grow next year. I think a few talented fighters will be there next year.
It'll be interesting to see. But you know, in terms of the dynamic within the gym, do you think that brings out, you know, more in you guys that, you know, I've been there myself and watched you guys train, is that competitive edge? Do you think that brings out more in you, that although you're friendly, you support each other, of course, but you want to be, you know, the best on sprints or the best on times, or whatever it might be, put on the best performance when you're all next out? Is it that's healthy competition, surely? And obviously, of course, great sparring.
Yeah, of course, it's have competitions, good competition, man. Everyone's always trying to push each other and break each other's scores on the stuff. So you know, it's only going to get you one thing. It's only going to get you fitter and better. So, nah, yeah, it is. It's great. It's great to have that around the gym.
Of course, so moving into 2024, you mentioned there that these ideas for a show in Manchester in Feb. This, of course, is on a Kieran Farrell Vicious Promotions card. Um, you've obviously been on two Matchroom cards as well. So is it, you know, this is almost like your small hall debut as well, isn't it? You know, it's different to the big arena shows. It's going to be tighter, you know, maybe not the high class that you used to with Matchroom. So that's going to be a different aspect as well come fight night.
Yeah, it is. I'm Joe. What I'm looking really forward to it. I'm looking really forward to it. I think it'll be the atmosphere with the best at boxing. It'll be busy in there. I've done well on tickets. I've done well. I think the atmosphere with the best at boxing. It's loud in there. It's small. The roof's low, and definitely I am looking forward to it. But yeah, it's just to stay busy, and then hopefully I'll have some big news in January about the plans for next year.
Interesting. So very much watch this space. In terms of, we mentioned earlier about you've learning, or you are learning, to try and keep in shape and keep on top of training when you're not in camp. This coming up is going to be your first Christmas period, New Year period. What's kind of your plans over there? You're going to have to fight on Friday. Will you allow yourself a couple of weeks off? Do you know, relax a little bit, let your hair down a little bit? Like, how's that
Yeah,
going to be?
yeah. I have a few weeks off. I have a few weeks off. Gonna eat up. I have a few weeks. I'll stay in the gym, but um, I'll stay in the gym, but I won't. Nothing too intense. I'll be staying fit. I'll be trying to improve a lot of technique and that, but yeah, nothing too thingy on the body. I'll be resting as well.
Absolutely. You know, just finally, we touched on it as a joke earlier, but December 23rd, boxing out in Saudi Arabia. You're only starting off on your pro career, but you know, maybe in a few years to come, and you're getting into title contention. So if you see these bigger shows going out to Saudi, it seems to be the destination of choice at the minute, with the unlimited pots of money, it seems. What's your
Yeah.
thought on boxing kind of moving to Saudi, away from your traditional Vegas or New York venues, and the bigger fights going over to Saudi? Like, what's your opinion on it, Will?
Money talks, done it, and if you're getting offered 5 million to fight in Saudi or 1 million to fight in Vegas, you're going to do the 5 million in Saudi, aren't you? Or even, but I think Vegas is always the mecca of boxing. Do you know what I mean? If you're in a world title fight, you want to fight there. If you've got out about you, I think that's where you want him to go. But like I said, money does talk. But I think it's a good thing what they've done. They've got all the promoters working together on the 23rd. So hopefully it's the start of a lot more domestic clashes with promoters, because a lot of belts get took hostage, don't they? Do you know, with one promoter, and they're not. So hopefully it's the start of them working together.
Absolutely. It's a bit bizarre, wasn't it, as boxing fans, to kind of sit there and see Joshua and Wilder on the same stage, and Frank and Eddie, which was completely bizarre. But as you say, it can only point to good things. You know, again, like, it's not going to be overnight, but I'm sure watching Ant growing up and other pro boxers, the dream is to obviously maybe win a British title. But when it gets to the world scene, it's seeing your name up in lights in Vegas. Can you envisage, like, maybe in 10 years or 15 years, that Saudi Arabia is going to be the destination of dreams, because the bigger fights are going to be taken there? So maybe kids growing up now are going to see the big fights out in Saudi. It seems bizarre, doesn't it? But it seems to be the way
Uh,
things are going.
the way things are going, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how they get the crowd there, and
Mm.
because it's more looking like invite only. Do you know, to these
Yeah,
things? Like there's a lot of royalty over there, isn't there? And it's
yeah.
more looking like it's invite only. So nah, for me, the dream would always to be if I could fight somewhere, it'd be Vegas or New York, definitely.
And I think on the flip side is again speaking as a boxing fan, if you was to look at say Andy Crolla's following or Ricky Hatton's following, Josh Warrington's following, those kind of fans, with the culture of boxing, you go for a few beers with the lads, and that's obviously
Yeah,
not
yeah,
there in Saudi, so that's an interesting aspect to it as well.
yeah. It is. It's just I don't think you'll ever get a good atmosphere there. You're never going to
Mhm.
get an electric atmosphere there, and I think that is boxing. So I don't think the odd spectacle there be good than that. But like when Joshua boxed Lucy, it was 300 people there or something. I don't know
Yeah,
how
it was a
many there
bit
was.
bizarre, wasn't it?
Like it's just invite only. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not really. It's not. I don't think it's got the things to be the mecca of boxing. So I think. But then Vegas has got to do stuff to step back into it, haven't they? They've just got that new stadium, the Sphere, haven't they?
Nuts that, isn't it? And have they just rejected plans for one in London as well?
Yeah, just rejected once fans in London. But no, yeah. So I think once shows start happening there, I think it'll be straight back to Vegas.
Absolutely. We again wait to see what is made of that. Will, I appreciate your time this evening. It's always a pleasure catching up, man. Any message for your fans, your followers, the people that are going to be coming out on Friday night?
Big thank you as always, man. I couldn't do this stuff without you. So a big thank you, and hopefully I'll put on a good performance.
Absolutely, guys. If you're in the area, Bowlers Exhibition Centre in Manchester, William Crolla, Vicious Promotions is a great card. SimBoxx will be in the house. Will, thanks for joining us tonight, and the very best of luck for Friday.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.